How's it guys, this is Davem and welcome back to Tom Clancy's The Division and my thoughts on the game. As you can see here, I have reached level 30, so I've made it to the max level of the game, and I've now got the end game activities to start looking forward to. Starting off with this, end game things like the daily missions that I'm busy looking at. Starting over here, I find it's pretty cool to be able to just start a mission like this. I don't have any teammates at the moment, so when I go in to the mission, I then decide to try the matchmaking, which doesn't take long for me to find 3 other players that are going to join me. You don't have to communicate with the guys, you don't have to set up a party or anything like that. You can just jump into the game and wait for the guys to load in, and off you go. You run the mission, which is pretty nifty. You don't sit for 10-15 minutes trying to find people to play with, which I find is pretty cool. Okay, so basics on the game. From the storyline point of view, I'm pretty excited about the way the Division has gone with telling the story of how we ended up as agents in New York, as the Division, cleaning up New York and investigating this virus that was released on Black Friday, which is pretty cool. You know, the in-game stuff that you can go back and you can listen to, stuff like cell phone calls that happened just before the release of the virus, during the release, after the release. You know, you can see the timeline and how things progressed, which is pretty awesome. Other games that have been out there that you go through, you know, I know you've had to go out of game to see the story, which has been a bit of a hassle from my side. I like being able to sit in the game and jump into a menu and be able to see you know, the background behind things and listen to or watch a video clip, or you know, stuff like that. It makes it more interesting from my side of things. From the gameplay, the third-person shooter was a little bit of a tricky thing for me to get used to. I've not really played third-person shooters. I've been a first-person shooter, so getting used to that wasn't too difficult, but it was a little bit of a challenge to start off with. But I got into it quite quickly, so that I find is also pretty handy. And then the gameplay of running missions, like this daily mission. Now, obviously, I did the story mission when I was a lot lower level. Whereas now I'm a higher level, and it's not easy to run. It's not something that you can just go out and you know, as a single person and just run through this mission with wiping out the enemies with a couple of shots. You gotta use the cover base that the game's designed behind. You can't. You know, you can do your different builds and be a tank build and run forward and do all of that stuff. But it's best to do that in a team, which I also like. That's the one thing about the Division that I like. You can play the Division solo, which isn't bad. I've done quite a few missions, and the initial part of the game, I did quite a few things by myself, and I did quite a few things with a team of 2 players or 4 players, you know. So from that side, I've experienced the different options that you can run the game in, and I found that running the game as a single player is okay. You can do it, but it is way more fun to run this game as a team, especially if you're running with a bunch of mates. And you've got a full 4-team setup. You can then have guys running as tanks, you can have guys running as healers, you can have guys running as snipers, so you can change your build accordingly. The other thing that I also like about this game is you don't have a one strat kind of build. You can't, there are games where you have to build it as a healer or a tank or whatever. This, you can change things on the fly. You can swap a couple of weapons around, you can change your perks, and you can go from being sniper to tank build, depending on your gear in that, which is also I find quite nice, that you can just, as you go along and play the game, you can swap it out. I find that the end game that I've had to experience so far has been quite challenging. So it's not just run a mission and you're done and dusted. You got to work for it. The in-game credits that you earn, the Phoenix credits, are not just something that you can earn quickly to get the in-game weapons, which is also nice for me, because I enjoy a game that I got to grind out, that I got to work at to get the good weapons and stuff like that. So that's awesome for me as well. The one thing that I find is a bit of a downfall from my side is more it's a function of the game that I still got to get used to, with the different stats for the armor and the weapons, and you got to look at all the different perks that a specific armor comes with. And for me, with a little bit of ADD, I want to just like put on this and run out and go shoot mans. So that I got to get used to, but it's the same time I'm enjoying it from a point of view of being able to learn a little bit more of how each item works for me. So that is as much of a hassle it is, it's pretty cool for me as well. Then the other in-game part of the game, and the multiplayer or PvP part of this game, the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is an area on the map that is specifically player versus player, but also has enemies inside it, NPCs. So you can go into the Dark Zone and you can run the Dark Zone in a team. Preferably, if you run it by yourself, there's a good chance people are going to try to take you out and steal your loot. So that's a bit of a worry from my side, because I like finding loot and then keeping it for myself. But then going in with a team, it's pretty awesome, because you can then go and grind out and get the high-end loot from the high-end bosses or the named NPCs, and you don't have to go player versus player. But then there is that option of going rogue or hunting down rogue agents, which is also pretty awesome. I find that it is a major adrenaline rush, being in the Dark Zone and either going rogue and getting chased down by guys that are on your server, or trying to chase down a guy who's gone rogue. So from that side, I find it quite exciting and a little bit of an adrenaline rush. But then at the same time, you don't have to do that. You can just, like I said, go through and take out the NPCs and extract your loot, and hopefully you don't get people going rogue on you and killing you and stealing all your loot. The loot part of this game also is really fun for me, from the point of view that I love finding stuff. I love being able to pick up a gun, whether it's green, blue, purple or yellow, or a piece of armor, and seeing what that is. Whether I dismantle it straight away or not is, it's still exciting for me to be able to pick that stuff up and see what it is, and then say, okay, it's a load of crap, or this is pretty cool, let me see how this is going to work for me. So yeah, in general, I find that the game has a load to offer us as players, and for me, as someone who likes grinding out in a game, I find the Division has given me that grind that I want. And I still find that there's more grind that I know I have to do. So from that side, it's still pretty cool that I know I've reached level 30, but I still got to reach level 50 in the Dark Zone before I can start buying like decent Dark Zone equipment and stuff like that, and armor and weapons. So from that, it's like, okay, so I've reached endgame, and it's not just, okay, well, what do I do next? It's now, okay, now I go into the Dark Zone. Now I got to go and I got to rank up in the Dark Zone. So it just creates more grind, more things for me to do, and I find that everything in the game is just loads of fun for me. So yeah, my overall thoughts and feelings of this game is I enjoy it. I enjoy the grind. I enjoy the storyline. I enjoy the mechanics behind the game. And I find that this is the type of game that I can see me putting a large amount of time and effort into playing, and enjoying it the entire time. Not feeling, well, okay, this just feels like a repetitive grind that's boring. You can change the way you approach a mission, and it'll end up being a different way the mission feels for you. So I find that is something I enjoy out of a game, and that is something that I want to do more often and play that type of game. So if you feel the same about it, then yes, this is the game that you should be looking at. Again, guys, this is, like I said, this is my thoughts. This is what I feel about it. Let me know in the comment section below what you feel about The Division. Do you find it entertaining and something that you want to grind through? Do you not like it? Let me know why you don't like it. Also, guys, please don't forget, drop me a like, drop me a subscribe. Follow me for Division content. I do try stream on occasion, my gameplay as well, so you can check that out. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to leave you guys to carry on watching to the end of this mission. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I will catch you guys out in Destiny. Remember, guys, stay safe in the Dark Zone, and I hope you guys get those high-end loot drops. Cheers for now.
Done with them yet, but at least now we can get these JTF folks back on the job.
Oh yeah. I need my people alive and out there fighting a good fight. God knows we can't afford to lose any more personnel. I owe you, Agent. Hell of a job.